speak with me, Poonam Burde. Until last year, Sandeshkhali was an indescript village that not many had heard of in this country. That changed in 2024 for unfortunate reasons. Several women hit the streets in protest over allegations of sexual assault, of extortion and of land grab. The man at the center of all those allegations was Sheikh Shahjahan. He was also the one who was accused of instigating an attack on a team of ED officials that was there in Sandeshkhali in January this year to question him. He is now behind bars. He is going to be in CBI custody in a few minutes from now. The process of handover from the state police to the CBI is happening even as we speak. This after the High Court in Calcutta transferred the probe to the central agency, showing no faith in the state administration. The unrest spread from an island to the mainland. Allegations of tribals' land being taken away, a fear of alienating the women vote back, and a relentless opposition are perhaps the many factors that force the Trinamool Congress government's hand. So is the Mamata Banerjee government on a back foot now? On the face of it, they may brazen it out and they say that they've done their job well. But are they countering the narrative credibly and effectively? Now the showdown continues over Sheikh Shahjahan's custody. The High Court had set a deadline for the West Bengal Police to hand him over to the CBI today at 4 o'clock. It's 6 right now and the handover process is still on. This after the police yesterday refused to hand him over, citing a matter that was pending before the Supreme Court. Now remember, yesterday the High Court came down heavily on the Trinamool Congress government, citing the pitiable state of affairs in the state, making its strongest ground for the bench to transfer the case against outside of the state to the CBI. The High Court, in its strongest observation yesterday against the state government, highlighted how the state police had underplayed the entire situation. They did not register serious charges even though an ED official was attacked on the head with a stone. Minutes after that verdict came out, the TMC government moved the apex court. They challenged the High Court order and stated that the state police acted in the right time. The minute their hands were untied, we acted, is what the state government said. The High Court yesterday said that it's a pitiable state of affairs in West Bengal based on the allegation of the Enforcement Directorate, who cited that they were not even given the copy of the FIR of the Jan 5th incident. The Trinamool Congress, on the other hand, maintained that they launched the investigation with utmost seriousness, claiming that the state police could not be entrusted to carry out an investigation due to the influence of Sheikh Shahjahan. The High Court transferred the probe to the CBI. Countering that order, the Mamata Banerjee government moved the top court, alleging that the order was arbitrary, it was perverse and it was illegal. But the Supreme Court this morning refused any urgent hearing, giving no relief to the state government. Now, while the investigating agencies are fighting over Sheikh Shahjahan, the political ramifications of this issue are quite clear. Prime Minister Modi addressed a public rally in Barasat in West Bengal's North 24 Parganas district today. It's the same district as Sandeshkhali. He warned the TMC that the storm of Sandeshkhali will reach every part of West Bengal. Let's take a look at the highlights of what he said and his fiercest attack perhaps against Mamata Banerjee. He said that women of Bengal were tortured under TMC rule. Sandeshkhali incidents will put anyone to shame. It's a grave sin, is what the Prime Minister came out and said. He said the TMC failed to protect women. Not only that, they also shielded the tormentor. The Prime Minister went on to say that the TMC trusted its accused leader but not the women of Sandeshkhali who were making these allegations. He then alleged that the TMC leaders did atrocities on the women of West Bengal and that is why it was a blot, something that the BJP will reverse, promising justice to these women. Now, women of West Bengal have been voting for Mamata Banerjee with all their might since 2011. They form her core voter base. Mamata has nurtured the women's vote bank by giving tickets to a large number of female candidates, especially in the last Lok Sabha elections. There are several schemes like free delivery of ration at the doorstep, monthly cash incentives to 1.6 crore households that have kept her voter base as well. Today, in fact, she also did decide to hike the salaries for Anganwadi workers, for Asha workers. But let's take a look at the figures at where the voting pattern stands at. Here's a look of how women have voted for the TMC versus the BJP over the years. 2016 and 2021 were the two assembly elections. 2019 was the Lok Sabha elections. 48%, 47%, 50%. So that has remained steady for the TMC, which means she definitely banks on this vote bank. Take a look at what the BJP is trying to do. In 2016 assembly elections, the BJP did not have a great presence in the state, so to say. They had only 3 seats in the assembly elections. 10% of women voters voted for the BJP back then. That increased to 38% in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Stayed pretty much the same, 37% in the assembly elections that followed. Now, the Prime Minister today declared that Mamata Banerjee was betraying Ma, Mati and Manush, the slogan that she coined. In Barasat, he vowed to protect the women of the country, of the women of the state. The pitch may be for the cause of women of Sandeshkhali, but no one can deny the political impact it might have. That is something that the BJP is eyeing as well. Given the trend in the last assembly elections for the state, unfortunately for the BJP, they may have gained from 2014 to 2019, but unfortunately for them, that did not translate in the 2021 Lok Sabha elections. Here's what exactly happened. For the BJP, women actually moved away, specifically poor women. Look at it. 52% voted for Trinamool Congress, whereas only 34% voted for the BJP. Lower class women, 55% for the Trinamool Congress, 33% for the BJP. The same goes for women across middle class and rich categories as well. 45% for the TMC, 40% for the TMC, 42% for the BJP. So there's a close fight there. But this is the gap that the BJP will now be trying to bridge. Looking at the figures, looking at what's at stake both for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections from the state of West Bengal, which sends 42 members of parliament, to the assembly elections that will happen 2 years from now. So looking at that and the Sandeshkhali showdown, is this going to be dictating the big clash of 2024 as far as Bengal goes? That's our big debate tonight.
गरीब, दलित, वंचित, आदिवासी परिवार की बहनों बेटियों के साथ टीएमसी के नेता जगह जगह अत्याचार कर रहे हैं। टीएमसी सरकार बंगाल की महिलाओं के गुनहगार को बचाने के लिए पूरी शक्ति लगा रही है।
State police, meaning West Bengal police, would be sufficient to hold that the state police are totally biased and every attempt is being made to delay the investigation in order to protect the accused.
कि सीबीआई ईडी जितने भी यहाँ तैनात किया जाए, जिनके हाथ में सौंपा जाए जिम्मेवारी तफ्तीश की, बंगाल की जो पुलिस बल है वो कभी नहीं मदद करेगी।
President of West Bengal BJP, Sukanta Majumdar, joins us live here on this edition of Plain Speak. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Why do you think the state government was hesitant in handing over Sheikh Shahjahan? Even now, 2 hours past the deadline set by the High Court, the handover process is still going on.
So this is the big question, because the whole country is searching the answer of the question why Mamata Banerjee and her administration is so desperate to save Sheikh Shahjahan. Who is Sheikh Shahjahan? Is he a prominent political leader? Is he a social worker? No, nothing, but merely a criminal. So Mamata Banerjee, why, being a woman chief minister, after so many allegations of atrocities against the woman, Mamata Banerjee is trying to save Sheikh Shahjahan. Why? Is there any monetary connection between the Banerjee family or the Sheikh Shahjahan? Or is there any fear that if Sheikh Shahjahan opens his mouth, then something will come and a new Pandora box will open? That's why Mamata Banerjee is so desperate. And her administration is going so far to protect this a criminal.
Connections or not, whether they're shielding the criminal or not, the issue has come up now, says the TMC, because it's the BJP that's trying to gain political mileage out of it. What we've heard, the testimonies that we've heard from these women, we're given to understand that this has been going on for years together. So why bring it up now? Why make this such an issue is what the TMC asked right before elections.
This answer was already given by the women of Sandeshkhali in front of camera of all the national and the regional, that is the Bengali channels. Why? What they have said? What have they said? They have said that they have tried to register the complaint, but whenever they approach the Thana PS police station, the police administration present there, they have said to go to the Bhaijan and just do the adjustment. That was the view of the police station in Sandeshkhali. How can a common man, how can a common woman can resist this kind of atrocities. If police is not ready to help them, if police is acting in favor of the criminal who is performing the crime, how can the common civilian can register a complaint against him? Not only so, furthermore, when the MLA, local MLA was from CPM, I think 2011 to 2016, in that tenure, that MLA who was the CPM MLA from CPM, who actually registered, who have spoken this all the allegations in the floor of assembly. So this is not the first time that you are hearing. Maybe media this time jumped over the whole thing, and that's why the whole thing came out and now it is in front of the whole country. But several times it has been registered by the women, by the local MLA, but no one was ready to hear anything about Sheikh Shahjahan.
Sure. Now, but the TMC, sir, says that, all action was taken the minute their hands were untied by the High Court. Right after they said there is no stay on Sheikh Shahjahan's arrest, they tracked him down. He was arrested within days of that. The BJP does not agree, but the TMC says it's a job well done. But let's look at what the political ramifications of this are going to be. Now, women are seen to be traditional vote bank of the TMC. In fact, in the last elections, poor women actually moved away from the BJP as per the data that we have. Do you think that's now going to change?
Obviously, the women of the state now, they have understood that the Mamata Banerjee is not a well-wisher of the women of the state of West Bengal. If they have to follow the Mamata Banerjee, they have to compromise, and they have to do this kind of things, and they have to face atrocities from the local TMC leader. In different region of West Bengal, small Sandeshkhali already have been originated, and several Sheikh Shahjahan like people, they are moving and roaming around in different part of West Bengal. Now it is the time to restore the dignity of the women of Bengal, and that's why women of this state, they have now ready to fight the atrocities of the TMC and as well as the Mamata Banerjee, the bad rule of Mamata Banerjee.
So you do see, sir, a political windfall for the BJP in the upcoming elections. Do you think that the BJP's tally is going to go up from 18 in the state for the number of members of parliament back in 2019 to now in 2024?
Obviously, I can assure you that we will cross the data that we table data from the last that is 2019 data. We will cross that figure and we will reach much more higher target.
Whether the voters of West Bengal, whether the women of West Bengal find merit in what the BJP is saying and the attack that the BJP is making against the TMC, we'll have to wait and watch. But Sukanta Majumdar, thank you so much for speaking with us here on this edition of Plain Speak. Let me open this up to the panelists that join us. Neeti Jain, spokesperson of the BJP, Tausifur Rahman, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, Pratim Ranjan Bose, columnist, and Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, join us on this broadcast. Let me begin by asking Tausifur Rahman, sir. 24 hours ago, the High Court set a deadline for the CBI to take over, for Sheikh Shahjahan to be handed over. That still hasn't happened. Now we're 2 hours after the deadline that was set today as well.
See, first of all, this whole Sandeshkhali thing was designed, and I've told you before, they wanted to politicize, they wanted to make a story out of Sandeshkhali. But yes, when the women matters came up, I mean, there was no negotiate on the women's dignity. But you need to understand, right after Abhijit Ganguly said, Abhijit Ganguly said only the CBI can investigate the Sandeshkhali case. We see that the case get transferred into the CBI. Hence, all things have fallen in place to show that the BJP was behind this, and all this while we were merely misusing the central agencies. Who was misusing the central agencies? BJP. I mean, we all were aware of ED and CBI's pace of investigation. When they are strangling the number of cases, which was very old, they couldn't complete that. How do you want me to believe CBI right now? We don't want to believe CBI or ED. So that's why the case should be transferred to Supreme Court. And that's a democracy. You cannot stop us, right? I
Sure.
don't
So
think
you
we
say
are
you
doing
don't.
anything which is
Sure. So you say you don't have faith in what has happened because there are aspersions that were cast or comments that were made by a former judge who now is keen on joining politics. But he's not the judge who
We
passed.
want a quick,
But he's not. But
we
he's
want
not
a
the judge
quick
that
response.
passed this particular order. So are you casting aspersions, or are you saying that you do not have faith in any of the
No.
judges in the Calcutta High Court?
We did that. Earlier when Sandeshkhali case was started, he was the one who said कि ये सारे cases CBI को चले जाने चाहिए.
Sure,
I mean,
but
we
he's
have
not the one who
proof as
gave the
well.
order
But
yesterday.
again,
He's also not the one who has said that there should be no sympathy for Sheikh Shahjahan in the past. It's the same bench that has said that in the past, who yesterday came out and said that this should be given to the CBI because there seem to be lapses, there seem to be attempts to shield Sheikh Shahjahan.
it's a vice versa thing. This thing you can talk about opposite well as well, because the whole thing has been shattered, the whole thing has been politicized, so things can go opposite as well. Now, I'm not talking about yesterday's judgment, but yes, this needs to get hurry up. We want this investigation to go roll on. We don't want this investigation to go round
Absolutely, and this
round
24-hour delay is not helping that, and this
BJP
24-hour delay is not helping that
and
cause.
BJP will crash this case
Sure.
again and take money and stand in front of Narendra Modi कि देखिए हमें एक केस की जरूरत थी अभी तक नहीं हुआ. So that's why we want this case to go Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will take its own course.
Sure.
It is absolutely fair. It is
And
absolutely
if that's
fair.
how
I don't
justice
think
is
so they
ensured
take
for the
politics.
people, for the women of Sandeshkhali, then so be it, Niti Jain. The point is that justice needs to be ensured. If there is no faith in the state police, if there is no faith in the Mamata Banerjee government, or if there's no faith in the BJP on the claims that they're making, as the TMC says, fair enough. Let an investigation happen independently. Let the Supreme Court monitor it.
You know, it is kind of unfortunate that the TMC spokesperson would say that we want no delay in this entire matter, but it took them 56 days to arrest a rapist. And they have been delaying for this entire matter to be transferred to the CBI. It has become a habit for TMC to say we do not believe the government, we do not believe any of the agencies, we do not believe the opposition, we believe, now we don't even believe the court. Beach mein they also said that the media was also taking sides. So basically, I don't understand this entire paranoia that we do not believe everybody.
Tawseefur Rahman, you had your time. Let Niti Jain finish. I'll come back to you.
Sandeshkhali. We
Yes,
do
Niti
not
Jain, go
even
ahead.
believe the women in Sandeshkhali, but we believe this rapist who has been doing rounds. So earlier, Mamata Banerjee herself said that the Shahjahan Sheikh is completely innocent. The ED is after him. The women who are making these claims are BJP workers. So this entire paranoia that this TMC government is going ahead with, today they're talking about agencies. Once upon a time, Mamata Banerjee also said that Narendra Modi is not even my PM. So you completely don't believe anything that happens in this country, the institutions of this country, and that paranoia is yours alone. There is a protocol. The court has asked for this case to be handed to the CBI. You have gone to the Supreme Court. It is up to the court to accept this case or not. It is not up to you or me for the Supreme Court.
Sure, let's try and focus at the issue at hand. The issue at hand, Tawseefur Rahman, is this particular case and justice for these women.
Today it is about
Justice for the ED officers who came under attack on January 5th as well. That is what we're talking about, which is why the police's conduct is under question.
Poonam, I want to answer in like 1 minute or 30 seconds. Please give me
Sure,
that.
go ahead.
First, Niti ji said that they are so concerned that they did not arrest Sheikh Shahjahan. They were supporting and he was absconding till 55 days. I'm very proud of my Chief Minister, what she has done. I'm very proud of my state machineries, how they have worked. And at least Sheikh Shahjahan is been arrested right now. He's behind the bars. And the case is going on. We are dragging this whole thing to a Supreme Court. Where is
No, but
Brij
that's
Bhushan?
only because the
Why
court
don't you
said
talk
CBI
about
could
Brij Bhushan?
independently
He's
go and
only got a
arrest.
line in
You
front
did
of
not
you.
want
Niti ji
CBI
has
to
a
arrest
right
him.
to
That is why
He's
you
a
went
rapist.
and arrested him for
Brij
protecting
Bhushan
him.
bloody is a
इसमें अपनी
rapist.
छाती पीटने वाली कोई बात नहीं है.
नहीं.
There is nothing to be proud of. You were protecting him then. You are protecting him now. There is nothing to be proud of. It took you 55 days to arrest him, and it was only after the High Court order, when the High Court said that the ED or the CBI could independently go and arrest Sheikh Shahjahan, that is when your police woke up. कि नहीं नहीं वहाँ तो दे नहीं सकते, so they went and arrested him.
Poonam, please.
Sure. Let's Niti Jain and Tausifur Rahman, let's bring this back. Let's bring this back to the subject at hand. Let's talk about Sheikh Shahjahan. Let's talk about Sandeshkhali. Let's talk about West Bengal. And I want to get in the other two
No one will be
panelists.
spared. What is Sheikh Shahjahan? है क्या Sheikh Shahjahan? No one will be spared. He joined Trinamool Congress in 2013.
So you tell us that. You have been protecting him ever since.
Okay,
Sure.
we came in power.
That's exactly what everybody is trying to ask. Who is Sheikh Shahjahan? Why does he wield the cloud that he did, that no FIRs will be filed against him, that he couldn't be tracked for 55 days?
He suspended Sheikh Shahjahan. Brij Bhushan is not been suspended.
After he was arrested.
He put Sheikh Shahjahan behind
Sheikh
bars.
Shahjahan was
Brij
suspended
Bhushan is
after
not
he was
been
arrested, sir. The allegations against him were there long before that. The Chief Minister, in fact, on the floor of the Assembly, even went on to defend him and blame the ED, the BJP and the RSS.
Poonam, we asked the ED to cooperate with us. Whenever you want to go to have a raid, it's not mandatory, I know that. But the state machineries want to help ED because every state have a sensitive area.
Sir, you said even the CBI cannot enter the state.
Sure,
You
so
have
the
been
ED,
completely
sure,
against the entire
Niti Jain, give me one second.
agencies.
Niti Jain, give me 1 second. Tausifur Rahman, the ED team went there. There was an attack on them. You can visibly see two people bleeding from their head. There is no attempt to murder charge. There is no attempt to murder charge in the FIR. Writing charges were dropped. All serious allegations were dropped from the FIR, something that the High Court has also taken note of yesterday. Why shouldn't the police then be questioned?
We condemn. Poonam, we condemn. But why did the ED ask for a stay on investigation from the court on the 7th of February? Kahin ko dal pe kala tha. Why they wanted a stay from the investigation? Why? If they were beaten up, if there was some injustice with the
Sir,
four people
because that was the joint.
why they were asking
that-
for
that
why
was
they were
the
asking
joint
for
Sure.
of them.
So let's
There is
let's
something.
question the conduct. Let's question the conduct of everyone involved, but we also have to ask questions of the police of West Bengal because the TMC and the police of West Bengal is responsible for ensuring law and order is maintained for justice to be ensured. But let me get in the other two panelists. The other two panelists who've been patiently waiting on this as well. Pratim Ranjan Bose. The case may be about extortion, about sexual assault, about land grab. Sheikh Shahjahan may be in the midst of it, but there are political ramifications for it. We are just 2 months away from the Lok Sabha elections. The BJP, inadvertently or not, would be wanting to ride on this.
BJP will obviously try to ride on this. That is their legitimate right as opposition. But the fact must be remembered that this is actually a people's revolt of the nature of Lalgarh without the Maoists. That makes it even more important because there was an organized armed group that were leading that thing. And here some women did it. And what happened in Sandeshkhali is actually happening in many forms across Sundarban area and the two districts. And it is shameful. I don't know how TMC is standing guard for that, but it is shameful just if you consider that private sluice gates, at hundreds of private sluice gates were in place in that area. The entire administration were handing gloves in letting it happen. And about the court judgment, if anyone has cared to read that judgment, it is one of the finest work of judgment I have gone through. There was particular and mention to the last detail why he is doing that. So it is just extremely, I should say, it is arrogant, and that arrogance TMC has to show for a clear political reason.
Poonam, we are not.
I don't want anyone to
Tausifur Rahman, this is the first time Mr.
Please.
Bose is speaking. He's been patiently waiting on for the last 20 minutes. Let him finish his
in all
point.
forums, TMC must not hijack all forums.
Sir, go ahead.
See, the political ramifications are are mainly two. One, we all know that there is limited democracy in the state and the democracy reduces as it goes into certain territories. What is sensitive area? What is sensitive area? Why should it be sensitive? It's a river island. Why should it be sensitive? There is no reason why it should be mentioned as sensitive. The reason is the vote is controlled by some people, vote and the political economy. They control it. You haven't seen people's mandate. There is no people's mandate in those areas. That can be judged from the panchayat staff.
Sure.
You know which districts where panchayat election is the ultimate proof of democracy, whether it is going down or not. Second thing is, please remember that ISF was accused in this case as well. It has, no one is talking about it. Now there is a fracture. I believe, that is why this government is making a show. They are probably trying to show to some people in the community that they are holding forth.
Sure.
But unfortunately, because who will control others? And this is the political side of the whole story that TMC is actually facing.
Sure.
And where BJP can gain.
Sure. Rashid Kidwai, it's not just about the BJP and the TMC, isn't it? The BJP and the Prime Minister is also making about the India alliance bloc. Now, the Congress and the TMC may not see eye to eye in the state, but they are still in alliance as a larger national picture. Is this something that could affect the chances of the India bloc as well? Is this something, or the silence of the India bloc partners, is that something that could cost the alliance?
Thank you, Poonam. Yes, indeed, it is going to cast some shadow because the Congress, particularly Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and all, would not like to endorse, the TMC's stand that it is flawed or politically motivated, etc. There are so many elements, Poonam, of this debate that I was listening to, and it's actually very unfortunate. We need to have zero tolerance when it comes to crime against women. I mean, whether it's a state or any other state or at the center. See, this overt politicization of the entire process. If we say that, the police is not doing its work, then we are going to create a lot of problem. It's not just about Bengal, because law and order is a state subject and it's applicable to all. The CBI, comes in per the frameworks of Indian Constitution and never envisage this kind of, cat fight that is going on. We are seeing among political parties over things that should be seen purely in the ambit of law and law enforcement, rule of law, etc. So therefore, it is all a very problematic thing. Look at even the conduct of courts. We have highest respect for the court, but if judges start resigning from court or post retirement start taking positions, political positions, it's going to create a lot of problem. See, the TMC has suspended him, and this is not to give a clean sheet to TMC. We have seen in other parts when there was the wrestling federation thing was going on. What happened to Bhushan Singh? Is he going to get a ticket from Kaisarganj or not? So if we are talking about that, and the entire aspect of this, Shahjahan Sheikh's horrible conduct, and linking it to a particular community. This is not a conflict of any communal nature, because the accused come from diverse background.
Yes.
So this is all problematic thing. I'm saying that it's not. One should not see these things from political positions, and it being seen from political position. Therefore, a lot of problems are coming up.
But it's the timing that's important, Rashid Kidwai, isn't it? 30 seconds and I have to wrap this up. The timing really is important. It's right before elections. Whether you like it or not, there has to be gain for some, windfall for some others.
Yeah. So, Poonam, this entire aspect of, this mandate theory that somebody, Lakhimpur Kheri, somebody, wins election and therefore that person is, sort of innocent is problematic.
Sure. Sure.
Poonam, but if there was no election,
Poonam,
or just
can I
because
just
there
come
is
in?
an election, do we not stand up for
something.
these women or what they are going through? Should we just leave
No,
that topic
Poonam,
just because the elections are approaching? I think that is the wrong way to look
Absolutely,
at this entire
elections
matter.
or not, absolutely,
If
elections
these
or
are
not,
women,
if there are
somebody
questions
has
that
to
are being
stand.
raised of the law and order situation in any state of this country, those are questions that will be asked. In fact, these visuals that are coming in live from Kolkata now. We're given to understand that it looks like Sheikh Shahjahan is finally now being handed over to the CBI by the state police. Remember, he was given 10-day custody by court to the police, 5 days of which have already lapsed, which is why the CBI wanted immediate custody. Another 24 hours lapsed since then. Now 4 more days are left before he's back in court. For the next 4 days, Sheikh Shahjahan is going to be in CBI custody. That's what we're gathering, and that's the latest that is coming to the fore from West Bengal. Unfortunately, I have to leave it at that, and I thank all my panelists for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing their perspective. Whether this becomes a big political flashpoint ahead of elections or not, whether there is windfall for some or loss for some, and can the TMC, the state government, credibly counter this kind of narrative? Those questions still remain. We'll continue with that focus here on CNN News 18.